Well, hi there. Welcome to Klein Farm Channel. I haven't made a video in the last few days, but figured I'd make one right now, short and sweet. The silver Jeep, I haven't driven it for over a week, and the battery died when I went to go somewhere today, so I'm going to show you how to hook jumper cables up to start a dead battery. If you don't know how to do that, here you go. So the old WJ here has enough battery to click and make lights come on and stuff, but not enough to turn over. So first things first, if you never jumped a battery before, look at your battery, the terminals. Normally black is ground and red is positive, but check to make sure. There'll be a positive sign and a negative sign for black and red. Then we're using the red Jeep here to jump it, and its battery's hidden under a piece of plastic here. You turn these little buttons here and you open that up there for to the air filter. And here you see on this battery a lot better, negative and positive. It's on the battery in the WJ, but you can't see it as well. Now you hook up negative first, then positive, and be extremely careful with your jumper cables, because after you hook it up to the battery, it's hot and it has juice and it will shock you and it will hurt very bad. You want to keep them separated apart like this. Put them together and show. It's not connected. It ain't gonna shock you. Okay, so you don't want them to touch like that when this side is hooked to the battery, because if you do that, it'll create sparks and it will electrocute you and it won't be very fun. So keep them back apart. So once this side is hooked up to the battery on the running vehicle, keep them apart like that. Now you want to hook up negative side first. Make sure it's on there good and tight. Then the positive side. Make sure you keep them very far apart. And you put the negative one on first. Then the positive. Then it should make a pulling noise on the running engine. Make it seem like it's working a little harder. Now you definitely want the vehicle running that you're jumping the dead one with, because if you have it shut off, it might not have enough juice to jump the dead one, and also it'll pull a whole lot of juice out of the battery. And if that vehicle's not running, you're gonna run the risk of killing the battery and the one you're jumping it with as well. Then if the battery is really dead, you want to let it sit for 5-10 minutes to get some charge into it. But since this battery isn't that dead, I'm gonna go ahead and go see if it'll start right now. It's been on for about a minute. All the Christmas tree lights on there. And it started right up. So there it started on the first try. This battery wasn't that dead. It if it was dead, like you couldn't even use the clicker to unlock the doors, you'd have to put the key in. You would have to leave the jumper cables on here for maybe 20-30 minutes to let it charge up some. And if it wouldn't start on the first time, if you go over and you rev up the engine and the jumping vehicle, that'll put more juice into it too. That works pretty good as well. Now always let it run for a minute or two, especially if it's really dead. Like right now, I think it would be all right if I took the cables off right away. But if it was really, really dead, you don't want to take the cables off right away, because you take the cables off, it's just gonna shut right back off. This same vehicle last year, it was really, really dead. I didn't drive it for probably a month, and I went to start it, and it was so dead. No lights came on, key fob wouldn't work, nothing. And I had a heck of a time getting it started, getting it jumped. I thought I was gonna have to go buy a new battery. But, I ended up getting it jumped, and I left it on the charger there for probably 20 minutes. And I unhooked it and parked the red Jeep and went to drive this one, and I didn't make it very far at all, and it died. It started right back up. I was very lucky for that, but it shut off because it didn't have enough juice. But I turned the key and it started right back up. But, so if it's really, really dead, you gotta let the battery charge up. This old girl is almost 20 years old. It's a 2004 Jeep WJ Grand Cherokee Overland. So she's in need of a little bit of maintenance, but it's 212,000, almost 213,000. No check engine light, that went off. Seatbelt light's on, but I'm sitting still, I'm not driving. I always wear a seatbelt when I'm driving. And North Carolina will hit you with a big fine if you get pulled over without wearing your seatbelt. But that's not a good reason to wear them. A good reason to wear them is so you don't die. Seatbelts do save lives. On occasion, they do kill people though too. So, but overall, they're better off for you than not wearing them. There's our red Jeep. You don't see that too much on the channel. It's a 2016 Patriot. Really reminds me of an XJ. It's a good little Jeep. It's a 4-cylinder. And we got this beast here. It's a 4.7 V8. Loves to eat up that gasoline. Now, when you unhook the cables, it doesn't really matter what vehicle you unhook them from first. So I'm just going to unhook from the red one first. Then you still want to keep them separated, because even though they're unhooked from that vehicle, this battery's hot now, and if you touch these two together, it's going to shock you. So be careful and keep them separated, and be careful when you unhook them. Then roll them back up nice and good when you are done. Put them back in the designated spot where they go. Can't forget to put the lid back on the air thing here. I forgot to do this once, and we drove around for, well, probably a month with this thing just flopping around loose down in here because I forgot to put it back on. Now this this hood here on the red Jeep, it's really, really heavy. It is very heavy, and you have to manually hold it up. The WJ, I don't know how heavy it is, but it feels a whole lot lighter than the red one, and it just right there has hydraulics. This goes up and down by itself. Clean and easy. This one's a two-hander. Put the rod back down in its designated spot. Then you want to let the vehicle that you're jumping run for at least 10 to 20 minutes, even half an hour after you jump it. Because if you start it and take all that time to jump it, and as soon as it gets running, you let it run for a minute or two, then shut it off. Oh, you might as well not even jump it, because it's going to be dead again very shortly, if not right away. Well, that's the main point of my video. I'll go over the bullet points here right again. If you have a dead battery and you need it jumped, get another vehicle, keep that vehicle running, hook up the cables, hook up the negative first, then positive, then hook up and keep the other end of the cables separate so they don't shock you. Then hook up negative, then positive on that one, and don't try to start it immediately. Let it sit there for a minute or two. If the lights still come on and stuff, and your key fob works to unlock it. Now, if no lights come on and your key fob won't unlock the door, don't try to start it. Let the cables on there for 5, 10, 15 minutes before you try to start it, because it is really dead and it needs a lot of juice to even just get back to having anything in it. And try it then, and it probably won't start. Rev up the engine a little bit in the car that's running, and that'll give it a little push. Then let it sit another 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes again. Then it should start after that. And if it doesn't, just leave it on there for another 20 minutes and it should start. But when it does start, if it's that dead, do not unhook the cables for another 20 minutes at least. Let it run with the cables on it for at least another 20 minutes. But if it was like this situation here with the WJ, it was just a little dead. It didn't have enough juice to get up over the hill there. The lights were on and the key fob worked. You can take the cables off almost immediately. Just let it run, let it sit and run for a while before you turn it off, and that'll charge the battery up some. Now, this is just the problem I have with this WJ. I think it has an electrical short in it, because the alternator works. It charges the battery, because whenever I drive it daily, I have no issues with it. But I haven't driven it in over a week, so that just drained the battery. Because every once in a while I'll look outside and the headlights and taillights are on with no reason for them to be on, and I'll just have to click the button and they'll go off to lock and unlock, and they'll go off. But I don't know why they come on. It's some kind of electrical issue. But if you're having problems where you have to jump your vehicle and you drive it every day, you may have a dead battery, or you may have a bad alternator, or you might just have a very loose belt on your alternator. So the best thing you can do is check the battery. And a lot of places, a lot of parts stores will check your battery for free, like Advanced Auto Parts or AutoZone. They'll check it for free. And if the battery's dead, you just get a new one. And if the battery's still good, then I would check the alternator or the alternator belt. And it would really depend on what vehicle you have, if you can just reach down and feel the belt or not. Because most new vehicles are just covered in plastic and you can't see anything. And I wouldn't be able to help you out very much without seeing it in person. But there you go. There's some good information to know. It's pretty basic information, but some people don't know, and that's why I'm making the video, for people that don't know, and it's just some basic information to know about. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Please comment. Comments are excellent. They help the video out a lot. Like the video, share it, subscribe. Have a great day.